Welcome to Odds.com NBA coverage for March 17th, 2021. Hi, I'm your host, Trot WAM, WAM OG on Twitter, filling in for our guy, Jimmy the Bag, who's crushing NHL and crushing college basketball as we speak. And all those picks are here at Odds.com. You can check those out here. But I do have 3 games for the NBA coverage for the March 17th slate. Pretty big slate for Wednesday, Wham Talk Wednesday there. I'm going to start off with one of these pretty interesting games. Got some old players coming back to the old teams. Got some players starting with their new team here. It's the Brooklyn Nets going on the road to Indiana Pacers. Right now, I see the line is opened here at FanDuel. It's at 3.5 in favor for the Brooklyn Nets. I agree with that. And it is at a home dog situation for the Indiana Pacers. Indiana Pacers are coming off of a tough loss against this Pacers team. Indiana Pacers are coming off a tough loss against the Nuggets. And that game, they're only held up to 38 points. So let's break this down, see what's going on here. Now, let's start off with the injury report. It's always best to start off there, right? Because these guys could be injured, some guys that may not be available. And I am seeing here that we may have a Blake Griffin sighting here for the Brooklyn Nets. I do show him as questionable to play, but I believe that's going to change into probable towards the time that you guys are starting to see this. He was a coach decision yesterday, and I'm filming this on March 16th. I'm sorry about that. I'm filming this on March 16th, but yesterday was the 15th. He was questionable there. He missed that game, and I believe that he will be able to play in this spot. Now, we aren't going to see Kevin Durant for the Brooklyn Nets probably no time soon. Spencer Dinwiddie is probably going to get traded before he gets back. For the Indiana Pacers, though, they do have Jeremy Lamb, who's kind of been getting a little bit back into shape this season, getting everything back acclimated. He's playing pretty well for this Indiana Pacers team. He is questionable. We're not seeing TJ Warren yet, and that's who we want to see come back because that bubble TJ Warren looked like Michael Jordan. You know what I'm saying? And that's kind of how we're going to look at this game as far as injuries. Nothing really too much seen there, but we do have Karis LeVert, who got back, had logged in 29 minutes in the last game, scored about right, about 17 points if I'm not mistaken. He's looking to come back against his former team and his Brooklyn Nets and show on the show. I'm pretty sure that's the case. He's already logged 29 minutes in the last spot against the Nuggets. I don't see him trying to slow down. He should be trying to ramp it up. And I actually think that once he gets everything ramped up, the Pacers may not be a fade spot, but I think they are a fade spot here. Once again, they only scored 38 points in the paint against this Nuggets team. Man, that's not good at all for that team. It made them turn into the mini Jazz because they couldn't get any attempts or any looks inside the paint. And that was kind of surprising because Denver is a pretty good opponent, holding opponents in the paint. They're ranked 9th, so Denver was kind of doing what their strengths are. But this team and the Pacers, they're ranked like number 2 or number 3 in points in the paint this year. That's kind of their bread and butter. So once you take that away, which happened last game, they turned it into the mini Jazz. Like I said, they shot 42 threes, making 17, which was the most they made all month. Very uncharacteristic for them since they only shoot 33 attempts for the season, which is ranked 19th. So it's very uncharacteristic here. I think this Brooklyn team has been playing a lot better defensive lately. Brooklyn defensive struggles is always, we already know it's documented. I've seen a little bit better defense out of Kyrie than I've seen him in his whole career, honestly, in this year. And also, I would say the same thing about James Harden as well. He's playing pretty good defense. Now, they allowed the 5th most points in the league. So they allow 115 points. That's the 5th most. They also allow the 3rd most points in the paint in the season at 50. But as of late, the last 5 games, they kind of starting to turn it around. Brooklyn is ranked 6th in opposing points in the paint at 42 points, just 4 shy of what they what the Pacers did against the Nuggets. So that could be a good sighting there. Also, they're ranked 11th in opposing points per game at 108. So they're getting better there. They're ranked 5th worst there. That's definitely better than fifth worst, being right in the middle of the pack at 108. And we know these guys are number one in effective field goal percentage this year in the Brooklyn Nets. Probably the best offensive team that we've seen, at least as far as efficiency wise, that we've ever seen. So they kind of just need to be in the middle of the pack to become a really top tier contender. Now, also in that the last 5 games for the Brooklyn Nets, they're ranked third in opposing field goal percentage at 42%. That's kind of one of the things that stood out to me when I was capping this game, is that they've been playing pretty good defense along with having great offense. And this Pacers team is kind of doing the other way on the other opposite side. The Pacers for the last 5 games, they ranked 14th in opposing points in opponent points per game. My apologies, at 112. So they're allowing 112 points per game. They're dead last. I repeat, they are dead last in opponents' 3-point percentage in the last 5 games, letting opponents shoot 41% from 3. Do not give James Harden a wide open 3. Do not even give Landry Shamet a wide open 3. You don't want to give Gary Harris a wide open 3. These guys might just be smoking you. So I definitely think that this is a good spot to take Brooklyn, man. And also, they ranked 24th in opposing field goal percentage for this Pacers team in the last 5 games. I know Karis LeVert is coming back, but he's not going to help their defense that much. That's something I'm going to be keying in on if I want to ladder this spot. For right now, I'm going to take the full game, Brooklyn -5. Just to add some more stats here, effective field goal percentage the last 3 games is in favor for Brooklyn. They're at 58% to the Indiana Pacers 53%. And as far as shooting percentage, they have a 5% difference in shooting percentage than this Indiana team. They're at 51% shooting percentage to the 46% that these guys have been logging there. I do want to attack the first half from the Nets as well. I'm going to actually lock that in if I could get that available at FanDuel here, and I'm going to check that right now. I actually should have did that before I hopped on, because I did want to know. I wanted to take this Nets first half. Nets in the last 10 games, they covered 8 of the last 10 games in the first half. Been a pretty good bet. They covered against the New York Knicks, who covered today in the first half. That, they've been crushing the first half, the Knicks, and they made sure they'd hold that down there. So I'm not getting a first half look as of yet. I'm getting, you know what? I'm sorry. I am getting I'm locking this one in. It's the Brooklyn Nets -1.5. So pretty much I'm going to take the Brooklyn Nets first half -1.5 against the Pacers. Also, the Pacers at home, they're only 9-9 in the first half, while No, they're not 9-9. My apologies. The Pacers at the house, they're 7-12-1 in the first half, while this Nets team, once again, they're 8-2 in their last 10. So they've been playing really good in the first half compared to this Pacers team when they're on the road at the house. They're not really that good. And also, I just want to add on to what the Pacers have been doing at the house. As a home underdog, they're 1-3, so that's not really that big of a difference. But as far as a home team, they only cover 6 of the 18 games that they played at the house. So that's 33% win percentage as far as covering the spread. They're only covering 33% of the time. You're going to take a third of your money to bet on it. No, I'm not going to do it. I'm going to take half. I'm going to definitely go full game spread, Brooklyn Nets. And I'm going to go first half Brooklyn -1.5. So full game -3.5. -110 at FanDuel. And I'm going to also take the first half Brooklyn Nets -1.5. I just think we're going to see a better offensive team, a better efficient team, and their defense is going to start to get picked up. I like Claxton for the Brooklyn Nets, and man, Blake Griffin could not take it. The only thing that I'm very concerned with, and it shouldn't be really a concern because Steve Nash kind of showed some type of competence lately. I'm kind of concerned if they rush Blake Griffin out there, just like, yeah, you're Blake Griffin. Let's go out there and help the team win. Keep Claxton in the rotation, heavy rotation. Ease Blake Griffin in. I think that's the way to go. And even though he hasn't played yet, so I think that's the way to go here. That's the way I'm going to handle this game. I'm going to take the Brooklyn Nets in the first half -1.5 at FanDuel. I do not expect that to be the same when we wake up in the morning. Once you guys get the check to watch this. But I believe that they're going to win by at least 4 to 5 points in the first half. And I would say that they're going to win by double digits in the full game. I had this line at 6 for the Brooklyn Nets. So the 3.5 is definitely a good look there. So I do like that 3.5 for the Brooklyn Nets. And next game here, I've taken 2 more games here. So it's 3-game breakdown here. That first game was kind of one of the ones I wanted to start off with first. It's kind of in chronological order. I think it's in numerical order for the game starting, whatever. The next game I have here is the Miami Heat against the Memphis Grizzlies. Taking on the Memphis Grizzlies at the house. +3, if I'm not mistaken, when I was looking at that. I want to double check here, because the lines always continually move here. But I believe we're getting this Miami Heat team who is off of a back-to-back. This is the second half of back-to-back. They just played and pretty much spanked on, I believe that was the Cavs today, if I'm not mistaken. Let me go back here and check. My apologies here. No, my apologies. They just played Cleveland. Yeah, they played the Cleveland Cavs. Yeah, I'm sorry. They played the Cavs. It was good blowout win for them. The spread was at -11. They covered that pretty much with ease. Shot 49% from the field in that game. Made only 10 threes. So they really didn't do it by like a big start or blowout there. And as far as this Memphis Grizzlies team, they kind of been on a bad slump lately. This Memphis Grizzlies team, they lost their last 3 games. And as far as their last 10 games as well, I believe they only covered 4 of the last 10 games. They've been at a little bit of a bad slump here lately. As far as this Memphis Grizzlies team, my apologies. My apologies. They haven't won. They only won 4 of their last 10 games, but they have covered though. They have been covering. They covered 6 of the last 10 games, so they have been covering, but they haven't been winning. This is a win spot here. We're getting 2s at FanDuel here for this Miami team, who's off of a back-to-back, who's going on the road to play this Memphis Grizzlies team. And this Memphis Grizzlies team is starting to get healthy. I think they got too many players, though. I think they got too many guys that need minutes. They got a lot of great players. They have Bane. They have Melton. They have Tillman. They got Gordy James is pretty much riding on the bench, and he's still a good enough guy that he will help the Lakers right now. So, I mean, here nor there, but as far as they have a lot of guys on the play on the Memphis Grizzlies, and they're still getting guys back. Jaren Jackson's still yet to play for the season. He's going to be out. Justice Winslow is questionable in this game. Now, Bam is probable. He played today. He played pretty good as well. Bam being back in the lineup is going to definitely help them out defensively. It's going to also help these guys out, keeping everybody out of the paint, along with, good pick and roll guys split. They're going to help them a whole lot of way in that facet there. Gabe Vincent is going to come back. I believe he's questionable for right now, but I believe he's going to play in this game. The Heat have won 6 of the last 8 games, including the ones tonight. As far as this Heat team, they looking like they're going crazy, and it's all because of Jimmy Butler. They're really not getting that much of help outside of Jimmy Butler, though. Outside of Jimmy Butler, it's really not that much production to go around as far as has been going around for these guys for the Miami Heat. But they have been covering games. They covered 7 of the last 10 games. They won 9 of the last 10 games straight up. And this is a good spot for the Miami Heat. They're 5-0 against the West. This is a good spot for them, I believe. I'm leaning towards the Heat. A lot of that has to do with Jimmy Butler, what he's been doing coming into this game tonight. He's been averaging the last 4 games 28 points, 5 rebounds, 9 assists, 3.7 steals, which one was a game-winning steal in those last 4 games. It's a game-winning steal that got that guy seal the deal. And listen to this stat for Jimmy Butler. This is the reason why I kind of agree with some people saying that Jimmy Butler should be in the case for MVP, because in the last 4 games, he's had a 4.6 assist to turnover ratio, which is ranked 21st amongst all players. In that same span, he's ranked 28th in usage rate. He has the highest assist to turnover ratio among that list. We're talking about big names, guys. LeBron, Nikola Jokic, Luka. He's crushing it. And he's pretty much the MVP in that spot, along with shooting 58% from the field. That dude is balling. Once again, he hasn't been having any help, but he did have some help today, and they covered 11.5 spread today against a team in the Cavaliers that we know can be freaking spotty here and there, and I've been betting on them, thinking that they're going to bounce back, but they've been terrible. I think this is a great spot for this Miami team to just come out and show everybody in the league that we're getting healthy. Jimmy Butler is still the guy, and he's getting better. I'm honestly just going to come out and say it. Jimmy looks like he's getting better. I thought, the wear and tear was going to show with the memes and everything, him crunched over. I thought that was going to be the case, but this guy's been balling out. The Heat hasn't been shooting well lately, though, from three. In the last 4 games, in that same span where he's been balling, they've only shot 45% from the field while shooting 31% from three. I think this is a lot to do with Bam not being around, though, because you just know that this guy's gonna be there. You need Bam there, kind of keep people focused in on the paint. Now, the last 5 games when Bam was out, these are the last 5 games. Now, Bam was out 4 games, but coming into tonight's game, the last 5 games, the Heat were ranked 29th in rebounds. My apologies, in points per game. So I'm sorry, they're ranked 29th in points per game at 99 points per game. So they only were scoring 100 points per game, which they did really good today. Got over the total too, which was something that they shouldn't have been doing. They did pretty good today, though. They got 113 points today. 27th in 3-point percentage. 27th in 3-point percentage, which we did just mention that they're 31% from three. 28th in rebounds. That definitely was a big loss for Bam there. So Bam being back is helpful. Dead last in second chance points, which kind of correlates with the rebound stat. And 24th in points in the paint. Definitely was going to see a lot of that change because Bam is out in those last 4 games out of those 5 games that we were mentioning. But the thing is, what are they going to do about my Memphis? Memphis is ranked number 1 in points in the paint. They're averaging 56 points in the paint, while the Miami Heat for the season, they're ranked number 1 in opposing points per game. They're holding opponents to 39.5 points in the paint. I think that's what we're going to see here. I think we're going to see the Heat play really well down low. They got their guy back. They've been holding it down already without him because in the last 5 games, as much as they've been bad offensively, haven't been able to capitalize it offensively, their effort has been there defensively. Last 5 games, they're ranked number 1 in an opponent's points in the paint at 34.4. Number 1 in opponents' fast break points, which that's something that the Memphis Grizzlies do is well great. They're number 2 in the league this year and fast points at 15.9. So they've been holding opponents to about 15.6. So that's pretty good. That's pretty good in this last 5 games in this span as well. And also is ranked 5th in the league. I'm sorry, and it's ranked 1st in the league. And I'm sorry, I said 15. That's what Memphis is averaging. They're holding opponents to 7 fast break points. Miami is. My apologies. Number 1 in field goal percentage for opponents. So they're holding opponents to 41% from the field, not 3 points. Like Indiana. They're doing it from the field. You know what I'm saying? That's a huge difference. You're letting somebody shoot 40% from 3 rather than 40% from the field. It's 2 different things. That is a big difference, and I believe that that's what we're going to see out of this team. Again, Memphis is a really good points in the paint. The last 5 games, they're ranked 3rd in points in the paint at 60, 5th in fast break points, but 18th in opposing field goal percentage. So they're allowing opponents to shoot 47.9% from the field, which is kind of bad. Both teams, though, they give it up from 3. Both teams are bottom 5 in 3-point percentage. So I believe that whoever's scoring inside the paint is going to prevail. We got to give the edge to Miami here because even though they're coming off a back-to-back, which they are 4-1 against the spread, may I add. So they're 4-1 against the spread with no rest. But I believe Bam coming back is going to be a boost for these guys. I'm kind of skeptical if he's going to play because he played tonight, but I think he's going to play. They need him. They need to capitalize. This is a short season. We don't have time to waste. You're young. Get out there. You already missed the last 4 games. He's going to play. And I like this Miami team. I'm going to take the Miami Heat -2. I like this spot a lot. And that's kind of where I'm heading here. And I'm also going to be – I want someone ever asked is why I'm not taking these guys early. For the Heat, they're not that good in the first quarter. For the season, they're 17, 18, and 4 in the first quarter. And the last 10 games, they're 5, 4, and 1 in the first quarter. Rather than this Grizzlies team in the first quarter, they play pretty well in the first quarter. Not at home, though. They're 10-10 at the house in the first quarter. They're 6-3 and 1 in the last 10 first quarters. So they're a little bit better, though. They're a little bit better. So I'm going to stay away from the first quarter. You may see a little jump out lead. This could be a good spot if you want to hit it live as well, because coming off of a back-to-back, having to travel, that can make a difference there. But I believe coming out early is not what I'm looking at here. I'm thinking long-term. You're going to get more of a grind out of this team. And I'm also leaning towards this under here as well. I didn't want to go ahead and break that all the way down, but it's at 221.5. I think this team in Miami Heat is playing really, really good defense. And if you can stop this team from getting in the paint, as far as that's my ideology, that's my idea here. Is they're going to stop these guys out in the paint, and that could correlate with the under. So I am leaning on under 221 there, just to give you guys a look there. But for the most part, this is going to be the last spot here for me. It's the San Antonio Spurs going on the road against the Chicago Bulls. That's the Chicago Bulls that just came off of a smacking of the OKC Thunder. Put it on the OKC Thunder. Now, as far as the injuries here, let me pull up some injuries here. My apologies, you guys. But the injuries here shows that DeMar DeRozan will be considered out for this game. I mean, we kind of figured he has some personal things going on with his family. His father passed away. Rightfully so. You got to take your time. Give your time to, take care of the family, get your knees back. But I believe Pop did mention earlier in this week that he was expecting him to play. So that is something that you want to look out for, when these guys have expectations of people playing and maybe that throw off their game plan, or maybe their contingency game plan is better. I don't think so, because DeMar DeRozan has been crazy. He's been killing it as well for his team, just as much as Jimmy Butler has been. DeMar DeRozan has been that for the San Antonio Spurs. It's a little bit more by committee. He has more help than Jimmy Butler has been getting. So it is a little bit more by committee here. As far as the Bulls and the Spurs, they both covered their last 5 of the last games, if I'm not mistaken. Let me pull that up for you here. Yes, they've covered. As far as the San Antonio Spurs, they covered 5 of the last 10 games. For the Chicago Bulls here, they just won tonight, but it's still they still only cover. Oh, you know what? They cover just 5 of the last 10. 5 of the last 10. Nothing really too special here. Now, my main thing here is that Chicago Bulls, even though they just came off of a home win, they're trash at the house, man. They're not good at home. This Spurs team is great on the road. Now, the last 5 games for the Spurs haven't been really that good. It's been all over the place. They're ranked 26 in points per game at 103. So they're having 103 points per game. They're ranked 13th in field goal percentage, 18th in 3-point percentage. They don't really shoot that many threes anyway, so it's not that much of a difference there. This team is ranked 25th in rebounds. That's kind of troubling there. In the last 5 games, they haven't been able to rebound. And this last 5 games, they also ranked 23rd in assists. I think that would be going up a little bit if we're getting DeMar DeRozan back. He's a little bit more of their assist guy, along with DeJounte Murray, who's been playing really well. I think he had 19 points his last game. He's been playing well, but I believe that you want to have DeMar DeRozan back. So him not being back is something that's concerning me, but I still am leaning towards this Spurs team. Now, they are not going to turn over the ball. That's something that we're going to look into. They're ranked 11th in opposing turnovers, while I believe they're only turning over the ball at a shorter clip here. I thought I had that up there. My apologies there. But as far as this team for the Spurs, they're ranked 16th in points in the paint, while being 16th in opposing points in the paint. Both of those numbers is at 48. Very strange there. You ever look at the last 5 games? Both of those numbers are at 48.4. It's very strange there. And I thought that was kind of interesting as well because they're holding opponents to 48 points in the paint. That's kind of what the average is as far as what the league is right now. Now, the Bulls, on the other hand, they're not really that good. As far as the points in the paint, they're not really that good. They just played a bad team in OKC. So I'm not going to give them that much credit there. They're ranked 28th coming into tonight's game. They're ranked 28th in opponents' points in the paint. Now, that's 55 points that they're allowing opponents to get off on them. And they don't care. They don't care about how it looks. You know what I'm saying? They don't care how it looks as long as it go down. One of the things about this Bulls team, they're pretty feisty. They do like to jump into the passing lanes very quickly, which they were displaying tonight. They're ranked number 1 in opponents' three-point percentage, but what I just mentioned about the Spurs, they don't really take that many threes, so that's not going to really affect them here. I think the points in the paint is where they're going to have trouble here, and I think Bulls may be switching up their starting lineup a little bit too early. Now, they did put Kobe White and Wendell Carter on the bench. They got Thomas Satoransky, and they have Thaddeus Young starting now. So those guys made their starting debut, I believe, last game, not this game, but the last game. And it's starting. I mean, it looks like it could work out for them. I'm not going to just go ahead and judge it off jump, but I think that they have. I was telling this to my sister the other day. I think these guys, they have the right players, but it's the wrong team. Some of these guys do not belong in this type of system, or some of these guys just don't need to be. They're not complementing each other well. And it's kind of showing. They're ranked 14th in three-point percentage at 36%. They're not really shooting that well. 17th in the last 5 games in points per game. So they're only 17th at 110 points per game. And as far as this team here, they're ranked 25th in field goal percentage, which is my biggest issue here for this team because that's correlating with their effective field goal percentage, which is ranked 24th. You're being 25th and 24th in the last 5 games. You're not going to win that many games. It's just kind of what it is. I mean, as far as you playing against a team that's efficient, you're not going to win that many games here. I think that this Bulls team is just not good at the house, man. They're not really good at the house. That's kind of where you're seeing this being one of those things that you kind of want to stop here and look at it now. The Bulls, they're only covering 9 of the 21 games at the United Center. 9 of the 21 games at the United Center. Now, I don't want to tell you guys how bad that is, but it's a 42% chance of them covering. But that still doesn't give me enough indication that this is a good spot for these guys. I don't like that spot here. The Spurs, on the other hand, they're road warriors. They're as far as being a road underdog, they're 6-3 ATS. As far as being an away team, as far as just being away from the house, they're covering 10 of the last 16 games at the that they had away, and also 8 of the last 10 games against the East this year. I just think that this the Spurs team is going to be a little bit better coached, along with, and don't get me wrong, Billy Donovan's been doing a great job, phenomenal job, along with benching Kobe White, which he probably should have did a month ago. But the fact that he benched him, he had the balls to do it. Got to give him credit there, but I think it's a little bit too late. These guys are just not going to work out right. And I don't think this is a good matchup for Zach LaVine. Don't get me wrong. Zach LaVine is a walking bucket. He could get off anyone. He had 40 points today. He could just get off on anybody. But I think this is going to be a good matchup for him. I'm looking to see what we're going to get out of DeJounte Murray. Looking where we're going to get out of the collective group that we've been seeing for the Spurs. Rudy Gay has been pretty much having a rock solid year, to be honest with you. And Keldon Johnson is somebody I'm also going to look out there. And along with Jakob Poeltl. Jakob Poeltl has been playing well. Now, he needs to step it up in the rebound category. That's the reason why they're only 25th in rebounds the last 5 games. So I need you to step it up, Jakob Poeltl. But I definitely agree here that this is a good spot. I just don't trust the Bulls as a favorite. I don't trust them as a home team, and I don't trust them as a winner here. So we're gonna have to go ahead and take it out as we see it, man. I think this is gonna be a good spot for the Spurs. I'm gonna have to take this Spurs team. I believe it's at 2, if I'm not mistaken, at -2, if I'm not mistaken. No, I'm gonna take the Spurs. It's +1 for the Spurs. I want to take the Spurs on a money line. This looks like the best spot because the line that we're getting here is at minus 102 at FanDuel. I'm going to take the Spurs minus 102 at FanDuel. I think they're going to cover the game, win this game out. So this is a good spot to probably hit both, but I'm going to just take the minus 102 just to give us some extra juice there. And that's kind of where I'm looking at it tonight, guys. And I appreciate everybody for tuning in, shopping up with us. You know what it is. It's Trot WAM. It's odds.com. We're doing this every day now. We're going to try to hit these off every day. So be on the lookout. Be on the lookout. Jimmy the Bag will be back. Like I said before, he's crushing NHL, crushing college basketball. We definitely appreciate you guys. Make sure you hit the link below. Odds.com. Appreciate you guys. Hopefully another winner. Last time, I believe I went 2-1 on the last show, or 3-1 on the last show. We got to get another couple units up. So let's go ahead and make that happen tonight. Y'all know what it is. Trot WAM OG. This is odds.com.